Yo, we are on September 29th, 2020. Back home, you feel me, from San Diego weekend, where we talked about in the last video, practically me breaking even. As you can see right here, the 24th minus 3.45. Then the 25th, 4.64 and under 1% each, probably about not even 1.5, about 1.3%. Basically break even. I think I was down 0.3%. I'm sorry. Yeah, like a third of 1%, so like a little bit of nothing for that weekend. And then today, I went crazy today, man. I executed 6 trades today. Okay, starting with APM. As I discussed a couple days ago, the market has been heating up due to SPI, which I got to miss. No day trades, plus I was in the car traveling to San Diego. Then the very next day, due to momentum and sympathy plays due to that particular sector, we have plays popping off related to SPI and the electric car sector. Missed Thursday the opportunities due to rejection. I explained it in the last video, yada yada yada. But today, so APM, placed a trade on it. As you can see, it was rotating 7 times the float. 6.3 million. Market cap back under 50 million. Okay, but this one just so happened to fail. But again, to be honest with you, it wasn't really showing me any strength. It didn't really show me no momentum when I purchased it. It did have a quick pop, like if it was gonna start gaining momentum, but it just never picked up the momentum, and it winded up flattening out and doing a whole lot of nothing. As you can see right here, my max gain would have been only 1%, and then the second time I tried to place it, didn't even reach even 1%, a whole lot of nothing. So I traded that twice, but then I noticed HUSA, which market cap 6.95 million, like I like it. Shit starting to come back, you feel me? Float was 6.12 million, rotated over 9 times, traded nearly 100 million when I first purchased it, and I collected a 2.32% profit on that. Okay, with the max potential profit of 22%. And then at that point, I was already out of 3 day trades on that particular account. Shifted over to another account of mine, and man, it winded up faking me out completely. Like I said, because I still don't have the confidence in this market to play my -6 plus 13, because that's not what the market has been giving me for this particular time frame in the market, because the market, it goes through its cycles. Okay, so we had a cycle of a huge run for about 3 or 4 months straight, and then it died out at the point where I started this trading journey, which you could see at this point. As you see all this red, I had to make an adjustment because it just showed me the cycle was no longer in my favor. And then once I adjusted to the cycle, I adjusted on the 10th, so this day, on this day. So from here on, once I readjusted to what the numbers were giving me based off the data from the last few weeks, I winded up turning 25 trades into profit, into green. On right here, I'm 12 out of 25 cents, so 48% win rate. And overall, the strategy is green. Okay, so but today, so I placed this trade in the other account, and because of the momentum I was seeing in the chart, the momentum I was seeing in the level 2, the momentum I was seeing in time and sales. So you have to understand these things move fast. So when they start picking up speed and you're starting noticing a huge change on the bid and ask in my level 2, you'll start noticing a change. You'll start seeing flashes. And when they start flashing real fast and start picking up numbers and pulling back, picking up numbers, pulling back really fast, it's a sign momentum is coming. Also, you want to look at volume. If it's picking up volume, it's a sign momentum is coming. And like I said, it's already been rotated, trading nearly 100 million shares, collected my 2.32% on that. And then I got hit. I wanted to give it a little more time this time because of it met all my criteria of under 50 million. Float was under 20 million. It was rotating more than 3 times. Everything fit my criteria. And as you can see, if you look on this side, my max gain on every single entry I had was a potential of 13+%. So is this market turning back in my favor? That's a very good question. As you can see over here, from the last 25 times, it's still, it's questionable. Yes, could I have picked these up? Yep. So, do I want to? I'm still not seeing enough on a daily basis to give me the confidence to go back to -6 plus 13. So I'm still going to maintain. This is now giving me a little more boost in confidence to maybe change instead of a 1-to-1 risk reward based off the -2 plus 2 or -3 plus 3 to maybe go back to a 2-to-1 risk reward. Because if you look over here, so I calculated from this point, and we're roughly winning an average of a max gain of 25%. And so, like I said, I like to capture a third of the move. So a third of 25 is roughly about 8%. And then what I do is I look over here and say, okay, if I chose to do 8%, how many times did it go over 8%? Then you could calculate a win rate. I think it went over 8% about 12 times. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so 12 times. But you have to understand that these are all the same moves. So if I were to actually stay in this trade and collected that, then these would now be out of play, okay? So, but just putting in hindsight the possibility of these entry points, and could I collect that based off of my entry points for me specifically and the way I trade specifically, and it's still not in my favor. So I said, okay, well, let's see if I lower it to 6. So how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now 16 out of 25 is a way better risk reward and ratio for risk reward, which is a 64% win rate. Okay. Then I calculated this side. So my max loss is averaging about 8% so far in the last few weeks. But as you can see here, clearly it's been a lot more green under 6. But then, you want to readjust. Well, what if it was -3? Where would I take my loss? So I would take my loss here. I would take my loss here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times out of 25. So I might readjust this to a -4 plus 6 just based off the numbers I'm seeing here. It's an adjustment game until I get the confidence that the market has shifted back into my favor of -6 plus 13. Again, today, I'm still a little out of it from this trip to San Diego. You feel me? Just to put it in perspective. Again, had my daughter. She had school. That comes first. So I came to the market a little bit later. Came to the market after 9. Winded up in the one account. Winded up with, let's see. Yeah, so as you can see on HUSA, I winded up with a 2.3% profit. on that particular one. And then on APM, I winded up with a minus 3.45% profit. So let's get into this a little bit and see. So as you can see here, it went from $1. This is, mind you, this is pre-market. Again, we're having these huge squeezes and falling off the map over here. But okay, so it goes from $1 to $29. Okay, that is a crazy mad move. Let's see what the news is. Okay. Launches infectious disease, biopsy, standard, startup exclusive, license in Singapore based. Okay, some type of biotech company. So APM. Let's see where my entry points were. Okay, so 912, and 916. All right. So let's look for this. So as you can see, huge spike. This is what I'm looking at, right, when I come to the market. Huge spike, fades, pops. And then it starts having a nice little climb, drops, but it's still holding its trend. It was still holding this trend, and then I noticed it right here. When it started turning in here is when I started getting interested in it. And then 912 is when I purchased. When I seen this drop, as you can see here, we see a pop, then a big drop, and then eventually came back, consolidated, pop, huge drop, came back, and then again, so we see here this nice pop, a huge pullback. So as I'm seeing it consolidate, very similar to what you see here, pop, drops, consolidate. Consolidate is basically when it just goes straight in a channel. So we're seeing it consolidate in that nice little channel right there. So when I seen it pop here, and it also broke the VWAP, so it shows that it could potentially turn back in my favor, where it's a battle between buyers and sellers. It's not just a full control of sellers. When it popped and it dropped, and I noticed it consolidating right here, is when I said, okay, this could pop again, just like we seen here. Pop, pulls back, consolidates, flats, and then pops again. So I was kind of expecting a pop up to the VWAP level. So, you know, it was at, I want to say it was like at 1011 originally, and I had purchased it at at 963 at $9.63, 100 shares. So the way I was thinking was if it popped to the 1011, that was going to be a nice 5% gain for me, which would have been beautiful, but it didn't do that, and it dropped. And then it still looked like it was holding. It dropped, so I cut it at 937 and sold it. And then it still looked like it was holding, so I repurchased it at 953 and then sold it at 945. But as you see, so when you're watching this, you see this spike right here. This is a spike in volume. Volume flattened out, and then it had a nice spike in volume. And so it kind of gave me hopes that, okay, this could probably pop. And I wasn't looking for a huge pop. I wasn't looking for nothing ridiculous. Like I said, I was really trying to make a 4 to 5% move. As you can see on this side, as I've talked about before, in the top 10% gainers, I want to see 100+%. And as you see, we got 3 of them today. And lately in the market, we've barely not even been getting one. So, you know, 3 of them and then plus a 50%er, which is great too. So we're starting to get a little bit of movement in the market. But that failed on me, and as I was watching this, I also had HUSA. HUSA was also on my watch, and I started noticing it picking up momentum in here, in this area right here. Boop, boop, boop. Morning spike reversal, goes down, pulls back, starts popping. So I'm noticing that, and so I immediately switched, and I said, you know what, I'm not noticing the movement. So when you look over here, time and sales, when you look down here at level 2, they start moving really fast. They fluctuate, and especially if you're seeing a bunch of green print like you see right now, if you're seeing this go through really fast, then that means there's a lot of buyers on your side. I didn't really see that in APM. It was more of a slow hold. It's just consolidating. I mean, does it have the potential to still run? I mean, yeah, it has the potential to still do something because it went from $1 to $30 basically in one fucking day in pre-market. So I mean, does it have potential to still pop? Of course it does. But as you can see, what happened? It just faded all the way out. Pop, pop, pop. Now it's down to $4. Dead play. You know, then I want to go here, HUSA. Now this is where things started getting interesting. I placed 3 trades, so obviously I had 2 trades in APM, and then I had 1 trade in HUSA in this particular account. So that put this account on the day. What was it? Let me check. 34.55, 33. So basically a 1.1% loss in this particular account on the day. Then we want to go into the other account, which this is what I played. I played this whole move right here. This is what I played. My first purchase was at 9.35, which is right here in this candle, anticipating this break. As I seen it climbing, and originally I wanted to get out at the VWAP, because if the sellers are still in control, then it's going to use that VWAP as a resistance level. So if it's using that as a resistance level, most likely it won't break. And so I sold it. Where did I sell it? In 1 minute later. So once it actually popped in this big pop is when I sold it, because of the resistance level of the VWAP. And as you can see, it just held that resistance level of the VWAP. And then in the other account, I got back in. I want to say, let's see, I could show you. I obviously don't want to switch accounts because then I have to type in my information. But let's see, 39. Yeah, so 939. Yes, this one right here. So once it broke, and then you see again, you see a strong red candle where it drops, but then it closes near the high of the candle. That was a good sign. And then so in 939 in this candle, I was like, okay, it's showing some strength. As you see, it's picking up volume. As the volume faded here, then it picked up. So I was thinking it could pop, and it did. It just dipped 6%, and I wound up cutting it in this candle. I want to say 42. Yeah, it's in this candle because I remember it was a big drop. And next thing I know, I was down minus 4.9%. So I just cut it in the other account, and then I noticed it picking back up, and so I repurchased it at 9.43, which is this candle, the dip, which I also like to buy too, which I've noticed that is actually better than just buying the break. Let the break happen and then let it dip, because they tend to pull back all the time. So when it broke this high of 387 and broke through and then it dipped, I purchased it, I want to say in the 380s, and then as it climbed, let's see, it was the second to last one. Yes, a 384. I purchased it at 384 and I sold it at 404. And again, man, you have to put in your entire schedule to this shit. So I mean, my daughter's working. She was calling me, okay, and I just had a conversation about this. You know, because my daughter would prefer to do work with me than do with her mom. She lives with her mom, and she comes stays with me 3 weeks, you know, multiple days throughout 3 weeks of the month. And she wanted me to do schoolwork with her because I make schoolwork more entertaining for her, because, you know, dad's always learning shit too because I'm always working. But she was calling me in the middle of this, and I was just stuck, torn between should I go or should I just stick with it. And in this candle, I winded up getting out as it was topping here, anticipating maybe another failure of VWAP. And then So when I sold it, I got it executed at 404, and then I noticed it keep going. But let's see, I want to look at the last one. What the hell, dude? Keep going. Okay, 49. Yeah, so as I sold it in here, I repurchased it also again in here for another small profit. Just basically to go green, basically. So I bought it at 419 in that candle and then sold it at 425, and then it ripped up to 487, which would have been a nice 6% gain, but I took 1% of that 6% because again, the state of this market, I'm seeing it consolidate below the VWAP, and yes, it broke through the VWAP right here, but it could have easily just dropped back down, and with the state of the market, it's not giving me much confidence that I could collect more than 3 or 4%. So overall, in that account, I winded up with a third of a percent profit, which is like $3. So overall on the day, I winded up with less than minus 1% on the day on 6 executed trades. But the beauty part about it is that I'm noticing it heat up. Also, if you pay attention to the videos I've been making, the adjustments to this market I've been making, if you watch from the beginning to this point, my losses continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then as you can see, once the readjustment, as of 9:10, way more green. I'm dead even, pretty much dead even. I'm 12 out of 25 green trades. And after, if you add up all these minuses and pluses together, I'm plus 3% total profit within a matter of 2 weeks basically. But that's how you grow a small account. Not only that, but if you notice the last few days, everything has been very extremely close to break even, which tells me I'm getting better and more comfortable at the buying and selling and executing my particular trades. And it's starting to have nice little more pops, because this 4% was really fast. Boom, I was up 4%, and it kept going. I mean, it could have been more, but like I said, with the state of the market, I'm not really getting much. I mean, 2.6% is my goal for right now, and I exceeded that tremendously here. Pretty much got it here, and then this just got away from me. I wanted to be a little more patient because it was a low floater, because you have to understand how to read level 2. You have to understand how to read your time and sales tape over here. So when I'm seeing them go, and you're seeing big size, if you look over here, this is the size. So when you're seeing big size and you're looking over here, and in this whole bid area is getting, so say if it's 260 against 264, and this whole thing gets, this whole thing says 260 all the way down, or the majority, the top part, all of it will say 260, and then it'll pop up 262. If it starts skipping ticks and getting higher, that is such a great sign. When it takes over, if it jumps, see, as you see, it just jumped from 260 to 264 to now 260 to 256. When you see quick jumps like that going in my direction, which is up, that's a beautiful sign. It just jumped going down. So sellers are in control. But when you're watching it in real time and it's moving extremely fast, man, this shit is fucking dope. You feel me? And it's great to capture. But in a hot market, like I said, that's where I came up with -6 plus 13, because when the market cycles and we go through the cycle of a hot market, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Sometimes it could run on longer. When you catch those streaks of the hot market, that is where the bulk of the profit comes from for the majority of the traders that trade my particular niche, which is, small caps. We all trade the same shit, we just trade it differently. We all have our own rules that are similar, but they're different, okay? So everyone has to come up with their own shit based off themselves. So today, less than -1% profit, which again, no big deal for me. It's showing and it's looking like the market is heating up. So if we get into market cap, well, that already changed. So if you could see the market cap here, 6.95 million, and now it says 18.98 billion. That's because the market is closed and it's accounting for today's movement and price action in today's movement, so it readjusts the market cap. But when I started this morning, it was at 6.95, which is great. Same thing with APM. APM was under my 50 million. So it's looking like they're starting to heat up because you're seeing the rotation. Times 7, times 7, times 9, times 9. You're seeing back to that rotation of heaviness, and it very much worked for a very low float and a very low market cap, which is what I like. And as you can see, even the market open, was dope. We pretty much had a triple top right here. Boom, topped it, didn't break, fell, then it broke. That is a beautiful, beautiful pre-market breakout that meets all my criteria. That is at 446, runs up nearly $2. That would have been a 40% plus move right there, and you see it's pure squeeze. That's what makes it so easy in these particular markets to capture a big movement, is when there's so many people involved and it's piling on. That is a straight squeeze. That's beautiful. Straight squeeze. Once it broke, it did have a pullback. Breakout level was 47. Pullback was to 26, so about a 20-cent pullback on 200 shares. That would have been about a -4, which would have met the criteria for the -6 plus 13. So it's showing that the market can heat up. Again, we could look at this and the market open, see a huge run. This had a potential to be morning spike reversal material. You could have even seen it right here. Pop, you could have tried to capture this double top from the consolidation here in this area, and then a top pull back. Could have bought right here at the 1020s, ran up to the 1170s. That's a $1.50 profit on 100 shares. That's a 15% move, showing me that it's bringing back the potential of what I like to trade. But again, I want to see more consistency in the market on a daily basis before I decide to go back to trading those levels of -6 plus 13. I will probably, now that I'm seeing a little bit more, it's making me, oh, this is a perfect morning spike reversal late in the day. As you can see, went from $1.40, spiked up to $2.50, like a 70% move, pulls back, starts rallying. You could have bought it at this break right here. But as you can see, no volume. You see heavy volume in the morning, even heavier volume at the end of the day. But you could have bought it in this level here when it actually started picking up volume, or you could have bought it at the high of day break, and it's a straight squeeze. 250 to 4, a straight squeeze. I don't know what that is. Let's look it up. ADIL. So, the market's kind of shifting back in my favor, but I need to see more consistency. Yep, which this is now corrected to the current market at $3. So $3 times, 11.29. Let's do the math. Hold on. So 303 times 11.29. Yeah, so at the beginning this was at $1.40, times that by 11.29. So it was about a 15 to 20 million market cap at the beginning of the day, which still meets my criteria, and float was at 11 million. Trading, rotating the float. Dude, I'm telling you, they're starting to come back, but I need to see more. As each day progresses, I need to see more to say, okay, the market is now shifting back in my favor. Yes, we have multiple ones, 3 on the day that met my under 50 million, that met my under 20 million, that was rotating, and it had the great breakouts. USG, and this one too, as you can see, goes from $4 to $22, bounces down to $9 to $20, and fades out. And yep, just fades out. I mean, you could have probably tried to purchase it right here at a morning spike reversal at 13.50. Ran up to 14.40, so almost $1 move, which, you know, at 13, probably like a 7% move. So that one, but again, you could look it up. Again, market cap 9.48 million, float under 1 million. Again, a sign of exactly what I like to play are starting to heat back up a little bit. So it's really great to see, but I want to see more consistency with it to give me the confidence. It's giving me confidence to go from plus 2.6, minus 2.6, the 1-to-1 risk reward, to now probably push it up to maybe, you know, plus 6, minus 4. I'm gonna go through the numbers a little bit and determine that in a minute. Maybe a plus 5, minus 3, until I'm seeing more consistency that'll give me the confidence to go back to minus 6, plus 13. But a beautiful sign of what's to come. Again, sympathy play, man. I've spoke on this multiple times. SPI was the catalyst of the market to propel a sector momentum. So we noticed that plays in the electric car sector started popping off a little bit. Now we're noticing that also these low float, small cap stocks are now popping off a little bit more, a little more active, because it's giving buyers confidence to jump back in and beat out the sellers, to beat out the shorts. So, you know, I want to say this is day 16 maybe, less than 1% loss on the day. I do not have any day trades for tomorrow, but it's all gravy because I'm going to watch the market, and if it starts picking up, it's just going to only give me either more confidence for when I do have trades, or it's going to say, James, the market is still not in your full favor to go back to minus 6, plus 13. And like I said, I'm going to go through my data and determine what's the best numbers I should play with right now in this particular market, because we're starting to see it heat up just a little bit more. It's sizzling right now, you feel me? It's starting to sizzle. I'm starting to see a little steam, a little smoke, but still not all the way there to the way I like it. But overall, it's starting to heat up a little bit, and I like that. So again, let's go to oh yeah, I fucking changed it. My bad. So APM, I did a minus 3.45% on APM. HUSA overall, if I add my other account to what you see here, was a plus 2.6% profit on the day. So that leaves me with, you know, about a minus 0.8%, which is a little under 1% profit, which is nothing, man. So again, man, we're continue to move in the right direction, continue to adjust to the market properly, continue to put the numbers together and understand what the market is giving us, continuing to collect the data that's appropriate to tell me and indicate when I should go back to minus 6, plus 13. But it's heating up a little bit, man. So we're going to readjust the numbers just slightly to see if it'll budge. Maybe, like I said, maybe a plus 5, minus 3, maybe a plus 6, minus 4. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to run through these numbers, adjust a little bit. But again, it's looking like the morning is heating up. Seeing a great pre-market breakout here, which met my criteria beautifully. That is a great pre-market breakout, but it could have easily shooken me out. And when it popped here, it could have easily shooken me out unless I would have bought this break as a morning spike reversal or some shit. But, you know, it could have tapped that and I could have bought it at that very high and then it dropped. So Again, don't anticipate the break. Actually wait for it to break to show that it has the strength. Wait for the break. Don't anticipate the break. Wait for the break. As you see here, once it actually broke, then it shows the strength of a 40% run. Again, man, meets all my criteria. HUSA. Exactly why I started following. I want to keep track of all that data. This could have been a morning spike reversal. I could have potentially bought it at the break of here. And the 11, and then it ran up to 14, which, would have been a nice, 26 to almost 30% move. Again, so it's looking like the market in the morning is heating up a little bit, but I want to see more. I want to see more. Same thing here. I mean, this was just straight squeeze at market open. I probably wouldn't even be able to catch that at all unless I try to dip by it somewhere, but it's so choppy, it'd be too scary to even attempt it. But again, showing that the market open is starting to build strength again. Here though, market opens and it drops. So that's the thing that I'm hesitant about, to go back to -6 plus 13. I'm not seeing enough strength yet at the market open for me to go back to that. Because yeah, you see 1, 2, 3, those all worked, but then 4 failed market open. That's having a nice squeeze. And again, this one just didn't do nothing market open, and then it broke out later in the day, which NNDM, I believe I've traded that. 113, 2.6. Yeah, I believe I traded NNDM before. Let's see. No, I haven't. NNVC, that's probably what I was thinking of. But again, man, the numbers don't lie, man. So you calculate all your numbers based off what you do. This is starting to show me, oh, maybe it is heating up a little bit. As you can see, giving me a little more confidence to maybe now readjust my numbers back where I could get a little more profitability, because I continue to collect a nice 2 or 3 or 4% profit, and then it runs a nice 13 to 20%. So and you can see it here, it's 13 to 20%, but it's still about a 50-50, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 out of the 25 from the adjustment still didn't meet the 13% criteria. So that's more than 50%. I want to see this back in the 60 range. I want to see green on this side in the high 50% to low 60% or higher, to give me that boost of confidence that I could go ahead and shoot for my 13 without having to worry about it. But until then, man, it's looking like I could readjust to, like I said, maybe 5 or 6% plus now, instead of just the 2 to 3. So it's looking good. So that's it for today. APM, HUSA, less than 1% minus on the day. Feel me? Heat this bitch back up. I can't wait. I'm enjoying this shit too much. You know what I mean? Till next time.